Hi, good afternoon. My name is Daniela Gutiérrez Sanchez, and today I'm going to present the Cold War. Okay, the introduction. First of all, the important date of the Cold War was the atomic age in 1950, the Cold War extends to space in 1957, and the Red Scare in 1947. The restrict rivalry that developed after World War II between the United States and Soviet Union and their respective allies, the Cold War was going on political, economic, and propaganda fronts and had only limited recourse to weapons. The term Cold War was first used by the English writer George Orwell in an article published in 1945. What is a Cold War? Cold War refers to a war of fear and threats, a special war that doesn't involve any direct link in military actions, but happen primarily by the actions of political activities. Then, how economic system in capitalism works in the Cold War? Well, first, the war on poverty launched with the great fanfare and idealism in the late of 1960s. Quickly collided with immutable economic and social reality that exposed its limitations. In 1969, the men landed on the moon. Then, by the 1973, they were rationing gasoline, and by the end of the decade, President Jimmy Carter was a famous pictures figure. Then we have the ideology of classical capitalism was expressed in an inquiry into the nature causes of wealth, and well, by the 76. Then by the economist, and philosopher Adam Smith. Then, how economic system in socialism works. The Cold War was commonly a contention fight for world prevalence. Then the battle between Soviet spousal relationship and the unified states was inexplicable on the grounds that America USA would not like to enable the possibility of socialism to spread. Then we have the United States nation was profoundly business concerned with the development of social, particularly when the Soviet Union started to control some piece of Europe. Then finally, we have that the socialism roots go back at least as far as ancient Greek times. Well, now we have the interviews. Well, I interviewed my paternal grandfather, but well, thanks for the quarantine, I can really visit him. So I call him and he answered for me some questions that I'm going to, well, to explain you. Okay, the first question that I told him was, what countries were the world leaders during this period? He answered that United States, Soviet Union, and France. Then, why the countries who were allies during the war become enemies afterwards? Then he answered that common mistrust was still there, and the Stalin alleged that the West, particularly the British and the USA, were deliberately not helping the Soviet Union much when it was fighting with Germany. Then the next question that I told him was, where did the Cold War take place? And he answered the USA. Then I told him, what opinion did the general public have of the Cold War? He answered that political and economic activities. Then the last question is, what type of weapons did the two war powers have at their disposal? Then he answered, not all of the countries had nuclear weapons, and that was a little easier for others. Then the next interview, well, that I interviewed was my maternal grandfather. That again, I can really visit him, but I call him and he answered these questions for you. The first question that I told him was, what countries were the world leaders during this period? He answered United States of America and the Soviet Union. Then the next question, why did countries who were allies during the wars become enemies afterwards? He told alliances both define and intensify divisions between democratic and socialist nations. Then, where the Cold War take place? Where did the Cold War take place? And he answered United States of America. Then, what opinion did the general public have of the Cold War? And he answered political, economic, and propaganda fronts and had only limited recourses to weapons. Then the last question, what type of weapons did the two world powers have at their disposal? Then he answered United States and Soviet Union succeed as a nuclear power by Russia. Then that's it from my presentation. I hope you like it and hope you have fun with those, well, with my interviews, I think. Thank you so much for your attention and hope you have a great day.